Hello everyone, welcome back to Real Estate Travel Vlogs by Hezekiah Real Estate Brokerage. I am Hector and Virginia. Today, we're so excited to share with you a very meaningful journey we experienced in April 2023, our trip to New York City right in the middle of the pandemic.
Stored in the overhead compartment for takeoff and landing.
This trip began at Cebu Mactan International Airport in the Philippines. From there, we had a connecting flight through Hong Kong International Airport and finally arrived at JFK International Airport in New York City. It was a long journey, but one filled with anticipation for what was ahead. Now, this wasn't just another vacation or sightseeing trip. For us, it was truly a once-in-a-lifetime experience, a story of resilience, adaptation, and discovery in one of the greatest cities in the world. When we arrived, New York felt so different from the city we had seen before. Quieter streets in a city that never sleeps, safety protocols everywhere, an atmosphere of strength and perseverance that was inspiring. And yet, despite the challenges, you could still feel the resilience of New Yorkers. The culture, the people, the heartbeat of the city was alive and thriving. It reminded us that no matter what happens, the spirit of New York can never be dimmed. For Virginia and me, this trip wasn't just about exploring landmarks or taking photos. It was about learning how people and communities adapt in difficult times. And as licensed real estate professionals and owners of Hezekiah Real Estate Brokerage, we take inspiration from these experiences. Why? Because real estate, much like cities, is about resilience and opportunity. Just as New York found ways to recover, we help families, investors, and partners discover opportunities even in the face of challenges. Now let's talk about Manhattan, probably the most famous borough of New York City and truly the heart of everything people imagine when they think of NYC. When Virginia and I visited in April 2023, right in the middle of the pandemic, Manhattan felt both familiar and different. The streets were quieter than usual, yet the energy of the city was still alive. Everywhere you looked, there was movement, culture, and diversity. It reminded us why New York is called the city that never sleeps. We walked through Times Square, and even during that unusual time, you could still feel its electricity, the giant screens, the lights, the atmosphere. Then we spent time in Central Park, which gave us such a refreshing break from the city's pace. It was inspiring to see New Yorkers jogging, walking their dogs, and enjoying life despite everything going on. We also took in Manhattan's iconic landmarks, the Statue of Liberty and Ellis Island, symbols of freedom and hope that are just as powerful today. Walking across the Brooklyn Bridge gave us one of the best views of Manhattan's skyline, one of the most recognizable in the world. For us, this trip wasn't just sightseeing. As real estate professionals, we looked at Manhattan with a different perspective. It's more than just a city. It's a showcase of resilience, architecture, lifestyle, and opportunity. And that's the same passion we carry back home into our real estate work in the Philippines, helping families and investors see the possibilities in every community. So as you watch this vlog, I hope you don't just see it as a travel story, but also as a life lesson that challenges can open doors, difficulties can bring possibilities, and resilience is what keeps us moving forward. Wow, what an unforgettable experience it has been exploring Manhattan, New York City, especially during such a unique time in April 2023. For Virginia and me, this wasn't just another travel vlog. It was a personal journey filled with lessons about resilience, lifestyle, and opportunity. Manhattan showed us that even in the face of challenges, life continues, communities adapt, and people find ways to move forward. Whether it was the bright lights of Times Square, the peaceful paths of Central Park, or the breathtaking view of the skyline from the Brooklyn Bridge, every moment reminded us of the strength and spirit of New York. As real estate professionals and owners of Hezekiah Real Estate Brokerage, we always say that travel and real estate are connected. Why? Because both are about people, places, and the experiences that shape our lives. Visiting cities like New York gives us new perspectives that we can bring back home to help families and investors discover opportunities and make their own dreams a reality. So as we end this vlog, we hope it inspires you to see challenges as opportunities, to explore the world with curiosity, and to value the communities and cultures that make every place unique. Thank you so much for joining us on this journey through Manhattan, New York City. If you enjoyed this vlog, please give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and don't forget to subscribe to HLRCL Real Estate Travel TV for more travel adventures and real estate insights.